Welcome back. In this section, we focus on the prenatal growth and development of mandible. Now the skull is divided into two components. It is your neurocranium and viscerocranium. Your neurocranium includes the cranial vault and the cranial base, whereas the viscerocranium is made up of the facial skeletons, that is the nasomaxillary complex and the mandible. Coming to mechanism of growth in heart tissues, the bone is formed by two methods, the endochondral bone formation and intramembranous bone formation. Now what are intermembranous bone formation? Intermembranous bone formation takes place in the areas exposed to tension. The formation of bone is directly from the mesenchymal tissue. There is no cartilaginous precursors in the intermembranous bone formation. Such kind of bone formation is seen in areas like the cranial vault, maxilla and mandible, except the condylar cartilage of the mandible. Endochondral bone formation. It occurs in the area exposed to high level of compression. Here the formation of bone is from a cartilaginous precursor. It is seen in areas like synchondrosis at the cranial base, nasal septal cartilage and the condylar cartilage of the mandible. Now coming to the prenatal growth of mandible. As we had discussed in the section of pharyngeal arches, we now know that the first pharyngeal arch is also known as your mandibular arch. And the primary cartilage of the first pharyngeal arch is Meckel's cartilage. Now the Meckel's cartilage, it appears at about 6 weeks of intrauterine life. Coming to Meckel's cartilage, this cartilage does not make any direct contribution towards the actual development of mandible. Rather, it provides a template for the subsequent development of mandible. At around 36 to 38 days of intrauterine life, there is ectomesenchymal condensation which takes place lateral to the Meckel's cartilage. Then some mesenchymal cell, they enlarge and form the osteoblast. This osteoblast secrete the osteoid and which results in ossification. The resulting intermembranous bone lies lateral to the Meckel's cartilage. In the 6th week of intrauterine life, a single ossification center for each half of the mandible arises in the bifurcation of inferior alveolar nerve into the mental and incisive branch. During the 7th week of intrauterine life, bone begins to develop lateral to the Meckel's cartilage and continues until the posterior aspect is covered with bone. Between 8 to 12 weeks of intrauterine life, mandibular growth accelerates. As a result, mandibular length increases. Now the ossification stops at the mandibular lingula. The remaining part of the Meckel's cartilage forms the spinomandibular ligament and the spinous process of sphenoid. Secondary accessory cartilage appear between 10 to 14 weeks of intrauterine life to form head of the condyle and part of the coronoid process. Now let's have a look at the graphical representation of the development of mandible. The mandible initially develops intramembraneously, but its subsequent growth is related to the appearance of the secondary cartilages. The condylar cartilage is the most important secondary cartilage. The Meckel's cartilage only has a close positional relationship to the developing mandible. It makes no actual contribution to the development of mandible. It merely provides a framework around which the bone of the mandible forms. Meckel's cartilage first appears at the 6th week as a solid hyaline cartilaginous rod surrounded by a fibrocellular capsule extending from the developing ear region to the mid-symphysis. The two cartilages of each side do not meet at midline as they are separated by a thin band of mesenchyme. The mandibular nerve, which is a branch of the trigeminal nerve, the nerve of the first pharyngeal arch, shows a close relationship to Meckel's cartilage. It begins 2/3 of the way along the length of the cartilage. At this point, the mandibular nerve divides into the lingual and the inferior alveolar branches. The inferior alveolar nerve further divides into incisive and mental nerve branches. During the 6th week of embryonic development, on the lateral aspect of Meckel's cartilage, a condensation of ectomesenchyme occurs in the angle formed by the division of the inferior alveolar nerve and its incisive and mental branches. From this center of ossification, bone formation spreads anteriorly to the midline and posteriorly towards the point where the mandibular nerve divides into lingual and inferior alveolar nerve. Bone formation spreads rapidly and surrounds the inferior alveolar nerve to form the mandibular canal. Further spread of the developing bone in anterior and posterior directions produces a plate of bone on the lateral aspect of Meckel's cartilage. This extends towards the midline where it comes into approximation with a similar bone forming on the other side. However, the two plates of bone remain separated by a fibrous tissue mandibular symphysis until shortly after. Further growth of mandible until birth is influenced greatly by the appearance of secondary cartilages and development of the muscular attachments. These secondary cartilages are symphyseal cartilage, coronoid cartilage, and the condylar cartilage. The secondary cartilages are seen in these three areas of mandible: the condylar process, the coronoid process, and the mental process. At 5th week of intrauterine life, an area of mesenchymal condensation is seen above the part of the developing mandible. At about 10 weeks, it develops in a cone-shaped cartilage. It migrates inferiorly and fuses with the mandibular ramus at about 4th month. This cone-shaped cartilage is replaced by the bone, but its upper end persists, acting as a growth cartilage and articular cartilage. The condylar cartilage are present as a separate area of condensation before it gets embedded into the condylar process. In this picture you can see, in the picture A, the condylar cartilage is present as a separate area of mesenchymal condensation. Picture B shows the fusion between the condylar cartilage and the condylar process. And picture C shows the appearance of the condylar cartilage at birth. The coronoid process. It is a secondary accessory cartilage which appear in the region of coronoid process at about 10 to 14 weeks of intrauterine life. This cartilage becomes incorporated into the expanding intermembranous bone of the ramus and it disappears before birth. And lastly, the mental region. In mental region, one or two small cartilage appear and they ossify in the 7th week of intrauterine life to become mental ossicles. This ossicles becomes incorporated into intramembranous bone and when symphysis ossify completely.